Hello and welcome to the show. I'm here with Sergio Cruel, and I'm trying to up my game because Sergio's here, and Sergio's always up in his game. Uh, we have this ongoing thing. Sergio's done real journalism out in the real world, and we kind of came together in digital world, and we're always stealing from each other.
That's
Always stealing
that's
ideas
true.
from each other to get better. We keep making each other better with our ideas. Uh, uh, how are you doing, Sergio?
Man, I'm great, man. First I want to say thank you for bringing me on to your show, and definitely, I'm always stealing stuff from you for sure. Absolutely.
I remember. I have to go back to our first conversation where you asked me if I knew how to airdrop on the iPhone. Like I was a really old guy. He said it real
Yeah, I
loud,
mean,
like when you're talking to elderly. He said, "Do you know how to airdrop?" Uh,
listen, because you know what, man. It was one of those moments where I just felt like because everybody doesn't know how to airdrop, so I'm just like, I should have known though. My
but you
fault.
talk louder.
That's my
You
fault.
raise
I
your
should have known.
voice. You raise your voice, and now there he goes. He's putting up the deeper than journalism giant
Oh,
mug that he puts up when he does his show. it's yeah, real slow with the mug.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, just runs his hand across it, puts the mug up. When you're watching this show, you got to watch for
Yeah,
mug
man.
placement. That when he's calm,
You do. It's important.
when he's calm, the mug is placed perfectly. When he's a little rushed for time or whatever, the mug's all over the place. The words aren't lined up. He's holding it by the bottom. It's all over the
That's
place.
true. That's true.
What's been
That's
going
true. That's
on?
absolutely true.
What's how's this these recent events been affecting field journalism?
Well, field journalism isn't field journalism right now. Just like going out right now or broadcasting. Like it's not happening. Nobody is going out doing any interviews. I'm not going to anyone homes. That's not happening. So if you have a missing person, we will be doing it this way. So it has been affecting it lately. Even at my job, man. Working for the station, it's weird when you got to go out and interview these people, and you got this 6 foot boom mic pole, and you got to stand 6 feet away from people, and it's like you got this long stick with this microphone pointing it in their faces. It's awkward on so many levels. You act like you don't want to touch the person because if you touch them, oh my gosh, something's going to happen. So it's just different now.
Yeah, it's really weird because like I watched one of the stations that was doing an interview with a police officer, and they had the mic on a painter's pole or boom, and it was put through the little side window in the cop car, and they had placed a mic on there, and they were showing how they did it all. Well, the person placed the mic on there with a bare hand on the painter's pole and everything, and put it in there, and it's like people just aren't getting it. You're breaking that chain. Um, I think they just announced today that the governor just announced today, and I said on the broadcast yesterday, and one of my
Uh-huh.
many things complaining about the situation was that why are we still at the point where essential workers, even though I don't agree with the definition for most of the jobs, are are not wearing protective gear? It's not mandated. They're out there
Right.
exposed to the nastiness of all of us,
Yeah.
and they're not wearing it. And today he said, "Oh, they should have protective gear on." Well, what are we,
Right.
20 days after he did the quarantine or so into it at this point, something like that?
Right. 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 Right.
And that should have been an action on day two. You know, if you
Right.
want your store to
Right.
be open, your employees have to have that gear. That's part of being allowed to be open. You know, that's what it should have been.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that even for us at the station, I just got a mask. Like we're just starting to kind of get gloves and things of that nature. It's tough. Like I just came from supermarket. I went in because I was down North Philly, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Whole Foods. They sell the best cookies, and this is not an endorsement or advertisement for Whole Foods, but dude, they sell like the best all natural cookies, dude. But when I went in there, I felt sick to my stomach because everybody had a mask on, okay, and then like I was like one of like five people who didn't have one on. So this is just getting out of control. But even when it comes to businesses, I do. I mean, yes, Governor Tom Wolf, he kind of said it late. It should have been earlier. I do agree with that. But also, like, I'm only going to businesses where I know the person. Like, I went to go get some soul food last week. And guess what? I know the person. I've been going there for years. So I'm kind of sticking with businesses that I've known for a couple years. Like, I try not to go to fast food places. You know, I made a
Mm-hmm.
mistake with the Burger King a couple weeks ago. And I said, yo, what are you doing? But you know, we all got to do our part in just kind of making sure we are staying safe out here. So yeah, but I do agree with you. You should have made it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's just I think that there's no way you can avoid this, but there's a way that leadership could have, I think, guided us through, laid a good foundation for it a little earlier. We're responding to stuff far too late, and we're doing half measures. And on the one hand, I think they should do more. On the other hand, I think what they're doing, I don't know that it's helping, but it's helping, not helping, because it's not that I don't believe that quarantine can work, but this isn't a quarantine. This isn't a
Right.
quarantine. This is what
What
this
is it?
is. It's a financial quarantine. It's a financial
Right.
quarantine. That's
I
what it
agree.
is. But
Right.
like the reasons you can be out. I mean, I saw a business that was open that was a florist. Florists aren't allowed to be open, but what they did was they put out a couple pieces of
Yeah.
produce, and now they're a food place. So it's like, you know, right. So you throw two pieces of kiwi fruit out in front of your place, and all of a sudden you're a food place. You know, uh,
Hey, listen. Why not? They got to make that money by any means necessary.
they got to pay their bills, and I'm tired of these commercials where they come on and they say the new thing is to see who can out emote and who can on the phone say uh, we're here through with you through the thing. No, I want to hear a commercial
Yeah, yeah,
where Citibank just says, "Hey, you got Citibank, no late charges, no fees. You got a problem
yeah.
paying,
Right.
you let us know.
Right.
You're covered for the next 3 months. Citibank,
Right.
we stand behind our people,
Right.
blah, blah, blah," or something like that. I don't want to
Right.
hear this.
Right.
We're here for you. No, you're not doing anything.
Right.
And
Right.
and then the people that are trying to sell
Right.
you things doing it, you know,
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
trying to sell you a
Yeah,
new car or
it's tough.
something. It,
Yeah, you know what? It's the funny thing is now that you mentioned the car, I know a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about the car industry, and I know that nobody's going out and buying a car right now. So I know what Ford Motors did. They said, you know what, we're going to turn our factories into making stuff for essential workers and frontline workers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just weird. I mean, me too. I'm sick and tired of seeing those stupid commercials. Oh yeah, we're here for you. All this and that, and even down to what I will say is I think Trump lied when it came to the IRS not charging people because I owe the IRS some money from school, which wasn't my fault because the school made a mistake on my tax forms. So it was, it's only a little bit of money, but I've been paying every month. And guess what? They took their payment out faithfully on the 26th or 28th of every month. So I have an issue with that. All I'm saying is, Trump, you lied about that, man. Y'all took that payment out of my account.
I think everybody's speaking too fast and they're not validating stuff, and they're saying what they think is popular, and they're scared to make decisions that just are, that are difficult, but they're for the greater good. They should have, they like SEPTA today put up a thing where they said, if you need a mask, take a mask. After that man got dragged off that bus, they flip flopped on whether you had to have a
Yeah, I
mask or
saw
not.
that. Yeah,
Now, I don't know the backstory, and it's real
right. I
easy to
saw
look at a
that.
snippet and say something, but it just didn't. It seemed to me that the response would be when you show up. If I showed up to that, I would say, before the ass dragging started, I would say, "Sir, good. Here's a mask. Would you put it on, please?" And then when he says no, then
Right.
maybe we go to where they got to, you know. But you
Right.
don't drag the guy, 6, 8 guys, and throw his phone to the ground and all. I don't know what he was doing on the bus, but the regulation wasn't there to
Yeah.
support that. Their Twitter said one thing, their Facebook said another thing. There's too many avenues. Their website said another
Right.
thing. And then they said you didn't have to have the mask after that. And then now they have a sign
Right.
up. Somebody sent me where it says they want you to have the mask, and here's a free mask.
Right.
Take a mask, which is what it should be. The first round
Right.
should have been
Right.
if you're mandated, here's what you need. First one's free, you know,
Right.
because how can you
Right.
make it?
Right.
How can you make it mandatory and people don't have masks because they're not available? People out there I swear, people putting drawers on their face. I
Scarf.
swear, the patterns they got, they ain't no mask. Somebody cut up some old underwear and they got them on their face. You know,
Listen, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Times is hard for a lot of people. You gotta
they
do
ain't
what
that hard. They ain't that
you
hard.
I'm not
I'm not dying with drawers on my face. It's not happening. It's not happening. No. I see somebody who got Fruit of Loom across their mouth. I know what's going on. Okay. They got silly with the mask, you know.
Yeah, they
I
did, man. They did. It's out of control.
It's ridiculous. And what these organizations should have, they should have a plan in place, and part of the plan, just like they have fire extinguishers and stuff, they should have the personal protection equipment there to cover their staff in the basement in a kit for something like this. I'm not saying everybody should have 10,000 respirators or whatever, but if you're running a local big box store, you've got 400 employees, and you should probably have 1,000 masks in the basement. You know, um,
Yeah, yeah, you should. It's
it's
funny.
called a
It's crazy
plan.
because I went to a hardware store. Right, it is called a plan. I mean, you should have that regardless. But a lot of these stores are selling masks for a ridiculous amount of money. One was like $14 for one, like a regular dust mask. I'm like, yo, what? Like, this is out of control, man. This is
That
crazy.
that's ridiculous. You can get the underwear mask on next door for $5. $5
Yeah,
American. You can get Fruit of Loom. You can get Hanes.
you got options.
That's right. You can get fresh or previously enjoyed. However you roll, nobody's judging. This is a disaster. You're going to band together. You want to wear drawers on your face? That's on you. But don't expect me to not look at you and roll my eyes and take out my phone slow and take a picture.
So you're telling me you wouldn't do that?
What? Wear underwear
You would. You
mask?
would. If Let me ask you this question: if you couldn't get a mask, let's say they really say, listen, nobody can go outside. Like, you're done. Make one last trip to the market, but you're done. And hey, Mark, you might just run out of masks. You might not have any more black scarves that you can wear, right? 'Cause I know your favorite color is black. You might not have that black, and all you have is, times start getting hard. Sometimes everybody's cooped up in the house, so your brain start kind of messing with you. You might start thinking, well, hold on, I got these underwear on, and I need to go outside.
Oh no! Oh
These
no! No!
underwear
No!
is
No!
looking
No!
real
No!
nice.
No! No!
You mean
No!
to tell
No!
me
No!
you're not
Oh,
going to do it?
there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Near the last underwear on earth I would put on would be my own. Okay, first off, okay, I would need like
Okay.
I would need
Why
one
is
of
that?
my it would have to be like a swimsuit model or something, but I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that because once you do that, you get a nickname or something. Not doing it.
No,
But
that's true.
but now
That's true.
that
Like
you talk about the
draw
black
space.
bandanas, you know what happened with this? I went to
Yeah.
my bandana drawer.
Whatever.
I saw I was low on black because I tear up black. I went down the basement, cracked open another pack of 20 black ones. That's right. Because when you're a man that wears black, you have a fresh supply always.
Right. That's true. So do you rotate your blacks, or it's like, do you rotate your blacks?
Oh,
That's my
absolutely.
first question. Do you rotate all
Absolutely.
your blacks?
I mean, for instance, I'm wearing my indoor hat. Okay. See, nobody notices. This is my inside hat. This is my casual after dark hat. Okay. It's completely different. This is my casual
No.
outfit.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
This
okay,
yeah. This
I
is
didn't
not
know
this.
this, man. I
This
got
is
to be
this.
honest with you. I did not know this.
No, this is like midnight black. This isn't absolute black. This is casual. This is hanging out. This is like a smoking jacket for a man that wears black. Uh,
Okay, no, yeah, for sure. I mean, because listen, I mean, it's if you rocking black, you gotta have every shade, every variety, you know, this the different fabrics of black, the different textures and designs. You need all that. But
like,
you seem like a solid black type of guy.
absolutely, absolutely. The I you pick a color, you stick with it. Uh, and you just go with that. I mean, do you have a wardrobe choice that you go with?
To be honest with you, right? Like I got three colors that I wear: white, black, and gray. The only reason I'm wearing this blue shirt, this blue like the blue shirt today, is because it's Autism Awareness Month, and there's a girl that I used to date a while ago, and we're friends, but she heavily supports me and what I do, so I wanted to support her in her business. So I'm rocking this blue, but normally, white, black, and gray. That's all I go with, man. I don't need anything else outside of that.
The
The
Yeah,
occasional red on my name.
okay. The See, and because you're in the limelight, you have to be careful, because people are always looking at what you're wearing. They're always paying attention. Uh, because you're a bit of a
Well, that's
fashion
true. That's
icon.
true. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I calmed down a whole lot. When I was in high school, even I want to say my early 20s. My early 20s, I used to go to the mall every single weekend, and as you get older, it's like, all right, I try to kind of scale down those things now. But yeah, you still want to look good, right? But here's the thing too. When you are in the public eye, you gotta make sure you stay up on your massages. Every month I get a massage. I haven't gotten one in a couple of weeks since this whole COVID-19 thing started. So that's a problem for me. I haven't gotten my chemical pill this month. That's a problem for me. So my skin is acting crazy. So this it's not that easy right now, Mark. It's not. Right now we're
the,
struggling, man.
the struggle, the struggle.
It's real.
Now, now, now.
I had to cut my own beard.
Well, wait. Who normally cuts your beard? You got somebody cut your beard?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How's
Absolutely.
how's how's that
My cousin,
work?
he's a barber.
Oh, now
Well,
here's a question I got to
my
ask you.
cousin, he's a barber.
How are they doing this?
Uh-huh.
They have restrictions on all these different jobs and the different things, and they have restrictions on barbers and beauticians and the such. So how are the
Yeah.
people at these television stations keep it up? Because they damn sure ain't using a Flowbee. They still looking okay. So how they doing it? What's the trick?
Yeah. Listen, man, you gotta either you're gonna shave it off, or you go to DIY, you go to YouTube University, and you learn how to do it yourself. I know one of my friends, he went out to Walmart or whatever he went to buy a clipper set, and guess what, man? He started cutting his own hair. So that's what guys are doing now.
I think there's going to be a lot of. I think there's going to be a lot of shaved heads in a couple months. I really do. I
Well,
re-
I'm already there, so I'm cool. I'm good. I'm already there. I shave my own head, which is cool. My beard was kind of getting crazy, kind of started to look like a Muslim a little bit. So I had to kind of shave it off. I had to shave it down a little bit because it started getting a little crazy out here. So um, I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, I kind of messed up, took my beard down a little bit too low, but
have you
trying, man.
have you seen anybody who's attempted and just really just fouled it up? You got any buddies that
Not, you
just
know what? Not yet. You know what? One of my buddies, I got a, I got an interesting story though. So my uncle actually, he cut my little cousin's hair. Right, he put it up, cut his hair, went on YouTube, cut his hair, put the photo up on Instagram. So I hit him up like, "Yo, what are you doing, man? Why are you cutting my cousin's hair?" He did a pretty good job, but now he think he's a barber now. So I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I had a homie who he wound up lining up his own beard. He was like, "Yo, all I could do was the top. I can't do anything else." So now he got to let his hair grow out, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle, because you want to look good at all times. So what do you do though? How do you do it? Because you seem like a man that can grow a lot of hair on your face.
No, I'm mixed. I got part of me that don't grow hair, so I don't have to worry that much. I mean, this this whole beard mess that's something that's just been recent. It hadn't been that long. I mean, it's been years at this point, but that just came out on a. It came out from laziness, and then what happened was it was right at the point where I started doing interviews with people, and then people came to recognize me by the beard.
Uh-huh.
I don't really like the damn thing, to be honest with you. Uh, but it's uh, but it's just
It's a symbol, man.
it breaks up the monotony on my face is what it does. I do like that part. But I just see as far as what do I do? I just trim it up. I don't do that much. It's like you get in there and you hit it and you do the best you can in 45 seconds you get out. You got to set a time limit because if you go long, you start messing stuff up. You start messing stuff up.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I've done that. I've
yeah,
yeah, I've done that plenty of times.
you just gotta set a time limit.
But listen, can I share a tip for all of your male viewers right now? I have a
Absolutely.
tip I want to share. So if you got a beard and you cannot, well, if you have a beard and you don't want to cut it or you don't know how to, you don't want to mess it up because you can easily mess it up. I'm gonna tell you what you do. All right, this is what you do. All right, whatever skin complexion you are or whatever color, I mean, whatever color your beard is. So me, I have a dark brown beard. My hair changes colors, blonde, brown. Get a little older, got a couple grays sprinkled up in there. They're trying to peek out, right? Well, this is what you do. You take an eyeliner pencil, okay, and you just kind of go slightly above where you're kind of where the hairs are coming out at. You go slightly above that, and you just fill it in. Create a nice little line, fill it in, brush it in a little bit so it can kind of blend in with everything else, and you'll be all set to go. Let me tell you, Mark. You know how many videos I shot like that, where I kind of line it up with an eyeliner pencil, and it looks super
You just brush it
sharp
in.
on video. Yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
you kind of draw it right above the line so you can get that straight line. Yeah, that's it. It's a black thing. You 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 put it right above the line, and you just kind of fill it in a little bit, and then brush it in so it can kind of blend in with the rest of your beard. That's
See,
all you do, and
I
you're
got a
good to go.
buddy who's
That's it.
dyeing his beard, and you can tell it's too dark. It's unnaturally dark and even. You notice some gray in there, and
Yeah.
you should wear your gray with pride. And I see more and more people out there now. That's what's coming out with this thing. You see people with gray that you didn't know had gray. You know, because it's coming out.
Right. That's true. That's true.
It's nothing to cover it up because with
True.
all that's going on. The what do you think's gonna happen? How's this thing gonna end? What do you think at the end is gonna happen with the news cycle? Do you think that the because this has been the only story for a month, really?
Man, it's been crazy. Well, this is what I think. So I believe we're gonna be in this at least for another 2 months strong. That's
Two
what I do believe.
months?
But as far as news, that's what I think, man. But also, I read today that Harvard is talking about there's going to be coronavirus all the way up until like another 2 years. Like I don't think they mean complete shutdown for the next 2 years, but things are going to kind of still be like the same for the next 2 years, which I think is false. So I don't know where that news came from. But I think that the way that people are doing news now, look at what we're doing right now. I know with my station, everybody is just kind of at home, or they kind of separated, doing things that way, doing things with their cell phones, things like that. But again, this has been the only thing in the news so far, and because this is a national crisis right now. This is a situation where we are all in this weird time. So this is all what needs to be talked about, I guess. But there are other crimes, other stories out there, dude. I went to a shooting a couple of days ago at 8 o'clock in the morning, where it was, guy got shot, he died. There was a pool of blood, right on the street. You saw the clip to the gun right on the street. That's something to talk about. But there's a lot of stories that's out there. But to be honest with you, until this thing is completely back to normal, life is completely back to normal, I don't see anyone not talking about this.
Well, my fear is that we do what we do with everything, and it becomes, quote, like they're trying to push it, is the new normal, And I don't want to accept this as a new normal. It needs to go away. It needs to be done with. This can't be accepted as normal. This is not normal. This is not how people are supposed to be.
You're right. I think see me, my personality is very optimistic. Very optimistic, and I did accept this as the new normal, and this is what I mean. Let me explain myself with that. What I mean by the new normal is like, all right, this is not going to last forever. I know that in my mind. I know that in my brain. So I'm not living like it's going to last forever. But also, what I'm doing is I'm adapting. Yes, it needs to go away. It needs to go away. Please hurry up and go away. But also I feel like people gotta take this time out to kind of reassess their lives and rebrand themselves or finalize that idea that maybe they've been working on forever. So this time that we're going through, despite people dying, that's the hardest part. And I know someone personally who has COVID-19, which is tough. It's really, really tough, but you kind of deal with it as it comes, man.
Well, it just seems like I'm just not willing to. I think it's being sold to us in a certain way, and I don't go down the road and say it's a hoax. I don't believe it's a hoax, but I believe it's being spun a little bit, and I think a lot of things get spun naturally, or it just happens. Or it's forced. But I think it's being spun, and I'm always suspicious of that because we just got to be careful because I think part of the thing with media organizations is that they're trying too hard to. They're not just giving us the facts; they're giving us the story, and they used to give us the facts. But do you think that you will? You're saying 2 months of this, so we're talking about going into June. You think it's going to go into June?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's going to go into June. I don't know why. That's just how I feel, and yeah, that's how I feel. Because think about this though, Mark. Think about this for a second. Number one, they already shut down schools for the rest of the year, right? That's number one. Let's just call it. That's crazy, but that's what happened. That's what happened, right? Also, if you think about how this whole thing started, and first they said, well, listen, we need people to quarantine for 2 weeks. If you feel like you're sick or whatever the case is, quarantine for 2 weeks. And then they came out with oh yeah, we'll shut everything down until the end of such and such date. I can't remember the first date. It was like late March. And then it's like, okay, well now we need another month. I feel like they're just kind of keeping us on that rat wheel, so people don't start freaking out. If they really say, you know what, we got to shut the country down for the next 6 months, do you know that everybody will be in freaking uproar? They kind of want to control the narrative. They want to control the outcome, control the situation. But also I think that mass fear has taken over as well.
Right.
I feel like people are fearful, And again, I went to the supermarket just to grab some cookies. My cookies that I get, that I used to get for years, weren't even there. But it was like everyone had masks on. We it looked like New York City inside of this market. Like it was so congested and crowded, and it was just like, yo, what world am I living in? Like you don't even want to touch a person. You don't even want to make, you don't even want to accidentally bump into them. So I'm just like, this is crazy. But you know,
Yeah, it's
and also they gotta find a cure. And think about they gotta find a cure.
yeah, they have to find a cure because if not, it just circles back, and that's one of my problems with it. It just circles back. We haven't fixed anything. We're just
Right.
ducking it. We're just ducking it.
Right. Right.
The, the
But also I heard, but listen, I heard too that I heard that, it's gonna take at least a year for the cure. Because think about it like this. There's no way they can send anyone back to school, anyone open up colleges, open up all the businesses if there isn't a cure. Because what's going to happen is that if there isn't a cure for this, what's going to, like you said, it's going to circle back around. Number one, or people going to start living with uncertainty and doubt and fear, and it's like either they're going to stop it completely, which I don't think they could,
right.
because I don't think they got. I don't think there's enough resources. I mean, well, no, America has all the resources, but I don't think there's enough to dispense to everyone. And then the thing
Now,
about it too is they got to test everything. They got to test things out. I I have a friend who works at Johnson and Johnson, who's kind of been giving me some insight into this whole world. So it's a lot, man. I mean, we got to deal with it. Unfortunately,
well, the
we
problem
got to
with
deal with it.
testing is
Unfortunately,
that
so
when they test you, the test is only as good. The test is good for that moment. You can walk out of that room and catch it,
facts
you know,
and we
and
get it.
and
Right.
that's
That's the
that's
problem.
that's the problem. That's the problem. The test is good for that moment and that moment alone, you know. So where do you go from there? Because it's not enough. It really isn't enough.
Right.
They got to come up with a better plan. That's the problem I have with it overall. Is that okay? So you're testing us, but you should be cure then test, or and whoever's had it should be on the list because they probably have some resistance to it, and they can be more on the front line. But the way they're doing it now, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't seem to be right. The But yeah, um, we'll, we'll do some more on this because we always got a missing person to talk about. Maybe we'll have like a little missing person remote roundtable every couple weeks or something.
Man, let's do it. This was before I forget this thought real quick.
Okay.
This is what this is what needs to happen if people people who do have COVID-19. This is what needs to happen. You know how if you're a sex offender, you have to register as a sex offender, and you can go on Megan's Law and see all the little sex offenders in your area. That's exactly what needs to happen with this whole COVID-19 thing. People need to register online somewhere, and we need to be able to know who has it in our area. Just saying. So the government, you're watching. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, but people ain't gonna sign up for no
Just a
registration.
thought,
They're not gonna sign up for no registration like that. There's no way. There's no way.
dude. It should it should be mandatory, man. It should be mandatory, in my
The,
opinion.
the
What's the harm in doing that, though?
it's all that slippery slope of invasion of privacy in it because um, they want to put microchips in people for medical stuff and
It's
ID,
not
but
happening.
then you got people that have tattoos on them from surviving Nazi death camps and saying I ain't putting no chip in me because of different experiences. I think if something like that happens, it's going to happen with a new
Right.
generation where it happens at birth. I found the thing though. The I was looking for it's my chart with my shades of black that I use for picking out my wardrobe. You see there. So I do have my
I see
chart.
it.
Well, you have
I noticed there's one in
midnight
the middle.
dark custom original, murdered out. You know, gotta have your different ones. Gotta have your different ones. But the
Murdered out.
murdered out, murdered out. You know, you got your dark, your midnight. You know, but yeah,
Yeah, for sure, man.
but yeah, okay. Well, I'll cut this right here, and we'll talk back with you later. That was you know, I got talking so much, and I had set the stuff up, and I had it all nice and everything, and you know, I didn't put anything up there. I was gonna, you know, to be, you know, Sergio
Oh,
Cruel,
that's dope.
you know,
That's
you know,
that's dope.
but I forgot to do it. Like I have nice things. I have nice things set up, and I don't do them because I forget. But
Right.
we'll end it here, and I'll continue with you offline. Hey, thanks for coming, Sergio.
Yes, sir. I mean, I appreciate you for having me.